Alright, so let's go. We are going to. Quite late.
It was a rough morning.
Rough morning. Oh, okay. Well, at least you didn't blame it on your sister. That's what everybody else does. They blame it on their ride, their sibling, whatever that is. So, good job there. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to take a few minutes and answer questions off of 6.5. Then I'm going to give you a majority of the time to work on the cumulative review for the cumulative final that is on Tuesday. Yo.
Number 13.
Yeah, somebody's already ahead of you. Sorry. Yeah. Daily Bot emailed me yesterday, and he's my first email, so he gets dibs. Yeah. Freestone, you were my last.
I should have.
Murray was somewhere in the middle. I don't know. Yeah, it was a plethora of emails. Alrighty, so it is. Hey, it's a 7. Shh. So 1-7. And this is question 6.5. Now, we have actually dabbled in this once before. Obviously, it was not, we didn't dabble enough. But you need to understand that there are only 3 types of graphs you're going to run into. Okay, and I'm going to draw one of each so you understand what's going on. Okay? So, there's one that does this. And it doesn't matter what they look like. This is what they do. Okay? So I got this. Now, what you need to understand is how many times does this graph cross the x-axis? Twice, right? So this means I've got 2 real solutions. Okay? How many times does this cross the x-axis? Once. So it means it has 1 real solution. Now, remember, a parabola still comes from a quadratic equation, right? And every quadratic equation has a squared on it, correct? That squared tells me what? Anybody know what that squared tells me? Nobody? It tells me how many zeros it has. Every quadratic equation has 2 zeros, right? Now here, it's obvious it's going to be that one and that one, right? What about one like this, where it only crosses it once?
Only 1 0.
Still got 2 zeros. Nope. Nobody? It means they're the same. So it's 3 and 3. You know what I'm saying? Okay. This one, though, it doesn't cross the x-axis. It still has to have 2 zeros. Now they are 2 imaginary zeros. Does that make sense? And when you go back to what I talked about the other day in the discriminant, one real solution was when my discriminant was what? Yeah, discriminant equals 0. 2 imaginary was when my discriminant is what? Is less than 1. Or less than 0, right? And here is when my discriminant is greater than 0. You see what I'm saying? That's how they pair up. Does that make sense, Daily Bot?
Yeah.
Freestone? Yo.
So is it possible to have like no roots?
Has to, no matter what. Whatever your degree is, dictates how many answers you have to have.
But what if you don't know like what the degree is? Like in the equation? Like the one where you wrote 1 real solution, like isn't that only
This is a parabola, right? To generate a parabola, it has to be squared. It's like this exact problem would look like this. Let's say that is,
So does that have 2 roots or 1 root?
it has 2, they just happen to be the same. It's like this one would be like x minus 3 times x minus 3.
So what would be like right on that one? 1 root? Or I mean,
Yeah, you would write 1 real solution. You'd write 2 real solutions. You would write 2 imaginary solutions.
Then you write the discriminant is equal.
I don't think it asked that. I was just trying to tie what we did the other day to what we were doing today. Do you have your Chromebook out, Daily Bot?
looking at the problem because of.
Oh, okay, okay, that's fine. I was just, as long as you weren't doing something else.
No.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm confused about the discriminant thing still, but if it's not important, it's okay.
Well, I mean, it is. It just depends on what your question is.
Well, I'm just confused, like, how, like, the discriminant less than 0, wouldn't that make it go under?
No. See what I'm talking about just what's in the radical. So when you go back to this, I mean, this is a whole thing, right? The discriminant is just this. Just that part of that problem. That part of that problem tells me which one of these it's going to be without graphing it. So I don't have to graph it if I'm going to do this. If this comes out to be a negative, I know my parabola is not going to cross the x-axis because I've got two imaginary solutions.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If this comes out as a 0, I know it's going to just bounce on the x-axis. If it comes out as any other positive number, I know it's going to look something like this and cross the x-axis twice.
And does that also tell you whether the graph goes down or up?
The only thing that tells me whether the graph goes down or up is my what?
A?
My A. That A right there dictates all that stuff.
Okay.
Each part of that problem gives me some kind of information.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Matt, does that answer your question? Okay. Freestone?
Mine was on 20.
Okay, 20.
Yeah, like 20 here and 20.
Like 20 through 20.
Okay, that's a typo. I don't even know what the hell 20 is.
Like I saw.
So here's what I think.
What?
Okay?
You're an expert.
So this is what I think is going on here. Okay? I think this somehow, look at this. I think this got copied at the end. Do you see how they're the exact same? I would say if you get rid of that, that's the problem. If you come over here and you get rid of that, that's the problem. Okay, so I ran into this on another assignment. So I went through and I thought I'd fixed them all, but apparently I missed these. So I would say this one, though, is good. So I can minus the 5x, add my 11, make it equal 0, then do it. So, here's not.
You got a two equal sign?
Yeah, I'm guessing that this looks like that.
Well, it's 4x squared plus 8x equals
Or is it?
Oh, no, okay, just get rid of that. Same thing, right? That is, but this isn't repeated, so I'm guessing that was good. So I just missed those three. Now, put that in the quadratic, put that in the quadratic, set that equal to 0, put it in the quadratic, set that equal to 0, put it in the quadratic. Then it's what I talked about the other day. Does that make more sense now?
So you put it in there, and then when it's just finding the student, that's just everything in the.
Just what's under the radical, exactly.
Okay.
Yep. And then that's what'll tell me, do I have one real, do I have two reals, do I have two
Do
imaginary?
you want to simplify the discriminant?
Find the discriminant. Doesn't tell me to. It just says to find it. So really, I wouldn't even go that far. I would just take b squared minus 4ac and find that value, and then that's going to determine the answer. Does that make sense, Freestone?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a typo. Has to be. I don't know. I just remember when I went through this, there was an assignment with a bunch of them on it, and I thought I'd caught them all, but clearly I did not.
That scared the crap out of me, though. I looked up like, what?
Well, yeah, so when I got, must have been Dalebaut's email yesterday, I pulled this up, and I'm like, what the? And then I'm like, oh, okay. Then I see it. But I'd had like 5 since then. I'm like, I'm not answering to everybody, so we'll just talk about it today. Murray.
What was the quadratic equation again?
You don't have it written down like 17
I
times?
do, but then I just forgot what you said.
Negative e plus or minus the radical.
I would memorize that sucker. Freestone.
Will we have more time on the 6-5 through 4? Where some questions were.
Yeah, whatever. I just figured you would submit what you had.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, the prescore's for 10 points. I really don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say there's way more than half of you that have submitted more than one late prescore this quarter. Would that be a fair assessment? You know what I'm saying? So. And once we went into quarantine the second time this quarter, I just stopped docking everything. So, it is what it is at this point. Yo.
So on 20, I want to make sure like I understand like so since I like solved it out and stuff and the discriminant is 5, so I'd write 2 real solutions
Just like that.
and that's all I write.
That's all you read.
Okay.
That's all it asked me to do, right? It says find the discriminant. So your discriminant would be 5, right? And then it says, and give the number and type. 2 is the number, real is the type.
Okay, so 2 real solutions and then discriminant equals 5 and that's all I do.
That's all you do. That's all it asked me to do.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you two working on?
Oh, I was just looking at the question.
Oh.
I was doing it fine.
No, I'm not talking to you.
I'm not doing.
Oh, okay. Remember, Chromebooks are closed during class, or during when I'm teaching. Alrighty, so that's all the questions on 6.5. Alrighty, now you can get your Chromebooks out, and we are going to work on the Term 2 final review. Term 2 final will be on Monday. Okay, it will be a one-shot thing.
I think you said Tuesday.
Well, I realize that, but we don't have class on Tuesday. Do you see what I'm saying? So I don't know why I was saying Tuesday. Unless I thought yesterday was Thursday. I don't know. Yo. Shh.
So we're working on the term review and not the unit 6.
Yeah, okay, great question. Now listen, this is what we're going to do. I have to get the Term 2 final done. My fear is if we wait until next Thursday or next Wednesday, if you're absent, we're screwed. This way, if we take it Monday, I've still got 3 more days to try to get them to take it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So
we're holding off on Unit 6.
exactly. So then what we'll do is we'll come back and we'll review again for Unit 6 and then take its test probably early next quarter. You all understand that? Okay. Remember, your grades cut off next Wednesday at 9 a.m. When you walk out that door next Wednesday at the end of this period, your quarter 2 grade is done. Do we all understand that? Okay, get busy. I'm trying to give you as much time as I can, so if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. I would first ask a neighbor, because that will help them, then ask me. Okay? We good? Okay, get her done.